Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your full moon reading. This is a reading for all Gemini's rising, Gemini sun sign, or moon or Venus placements in Gemini. If you're not sure of your planetary placements, you can search the internet for free natal chart, enter your information, and they'll produce a chart for you that includes all of your planetary placements as well as your rising or ascendant sign. I've shuffled and cleared the cards, and I'll do a quick shuffle cut before we start the reading. Let me tell you about the structure here. I'm using cards from the Star Codes Astro Oracle to set up your reading with the tarot cards from the Fountain deck here. This reading is centered on which aspect of your personality, your inner you, which aspect of that personality, because we're all complex creatures. You're not just, when we call you Gemini, it's not just saying you're a chatterbox. It's saying there's many sides to you, and we need to know which of those strengths, which of those sides are going to help you benefit most from this full moon experience. Now, full moons last anywhere from a few days before the event to a few days after. So this will cover a period up through the 6th of June. And this new moon is very special because it's aligned with something we call the Great Attractor, which is this huge, very powerful gravitational force that's centered in a cluster of galaxies millions of light years away. And this full moon is perfectly aligned with the Great Attractor, perfectly aligned. And what that does, it exerts its influence, its power, its force on this full moon. And what that means for us is that it heightens our intuition. We become very intuitive and receptive to messages from the universe to help guide us and reflect. We'll talk more about it as we get there, but first let's cut and see which aspects of Gemini are going to be most called upon for this full moon event. And we have the King of Wands. The King of Wands are fire energy. Kings are masters of that. They are the elemental essence of fire, which is energetic, inspired, giving inspiration, being inspired, as well as design and planning. Yet they have a very fiery energy, but they do want to plan, and they have a design to their plans. So this aspect of you, because you are independent, you are kingly in your independence. You're very clever, you're intelligent, you're charming, and the King of Wands is also very charming. So you're going to use this aspect of your personality to help you gain the most and benefit the most from this full moon. Now, full moons are a time for reflection, for checking in, looking at the past 30 days since that last full moon. And by the way, remember that was an eclipse, and that eclipse happened in your 6th house of health and wellness, self-care. So this is a time when you reflect back on that and look at your progress. That full moon eclipse forced you to purge some things. When you went inward and reflected on during that full moon, it forced you to face some things about your self-care that needed to change. It forced you to let go, perhaps, or to consider letting go of habits that didn't serve you and adopting habits. And we're talking about all of your health, your mental health, emotional health, physical health, healthy environment. It also includes pets, so if there are any issues about pets during that time. But this full moon wants you to look back at that, and this full moon is happening in your 3rd house. Oh, I'm sorry, not your 3rd house. It's in your 7th house. I put the wrong card out. Take that out. Your 7th house is about marriage and partners and contracts. It's about sharing. So in this full moon, you're going to be reflecting on these characteristics of your or matters or issues of your 7th house, and you're going to see how any spiritual or intuitive messages you pick up about that can help you progress forward. Now remember that eclipse energy about self-care, that's going to be with you for, it usually lasts 2 to 6 months, so it's going to be a while. This full moon is more immediate, and it looks like that partnerships, whether they're personal or business or community, are going to come into play with regard to that self-care issue that needed to be addressed. Okay, well, let's find out more about how you're going to use this side of yourself, this King of Wands, the master of energy and inspiration and design and planning. How is that going to help you interpret and apply any intuitive messages you pick up? Wow, another king. I shuffled these really well. King of the... So, okay, Gemini. I wonder if this is related to the fact that the sun is currently in your sign, in your first house. The swords are air energy. They're about thought, mindset, truth, and aligning your truth to your character. Okay, your first house, your outward character. Your first house is how you express yourself, how you present yourself to others. By arrival, they mean Gemini is here, presenting him or herself. So the King of Swords, mastery of truth and thought, and he's the most kingly of all the kings. He truly is the essence of a kingly ruling mindset. He thinks like a king. He acts like a king. He may not have the charm of this guy over here, the wands, but he certainly has the intellectual power and the power of truth behind him. Okay, so Gemini. We moved from the eclipse last month that happened in your house of health and wellness. A few weeks later, the sun enters your first house of your outward appearance, how you present yourself, first impressions, your attitude toward the world, toward people. And the sun is spotlighting that. And this full moon is happening in your 7th house of marriage and partnerships and contracts. Oh, let me cut first. Nine of Cups. Okay. Emotions. Emotions, love. Intuition as well. And related to moon energy. Nine of Cups is fulfillment, joy. Joy and happiness. Something about your executive side, your mastery, your expertise, and how that is affecting. No, it's how this is affecting you. The you, the inner you. Okay, so your outer self, your outward, how other people see you. How other people see you has to become aligned with the inner you for this to bring the enlightenment and reveal any hidden secrets. Full moons shine light on the hidden, the secrets that have not been revealed to us, or maybe things about situations we just didn't notice, didn't think were important, so we neglected to focus on them. But it brings up the hidden, the unknown. Five of Swords. Okay, that's air energy. And you are air energy. Five of Swords is about a situation where an over-competitive person that's involved wants it to be a win-lose situation, and they'll do anything to win. And this shows that a painful experience is passing. 10 completes a cycle, and the swords are all stabbed in this person's back. You can see the red dawn coming. In the traditional tarot, it's a golden dawn, and the figure is looking toward that golden dawn because the worst has passed. So there's been a situation that turned into a win-lose situation that was a painful experience. The worst has passed. And it has to do with the way you present yourself, Gemini. Spirit wants you to bring out the best of you, your power, your maturity, your decision-making skills, your energy and inspired leadership, your intellect. They want you to bring that in line with how others perceive you, because there was something in the way somebody perceived you. Maybe they took kindness, they mistook kindness for weakness, and they turned a battle into something ruthless, didn't care what the effect was going to be, and it led to this. Let's see what intuition, where are your intuitive thoughts going to go? What is Spirit going to send to you in terms of intuitive messages during this full moon to help bring about this alignment, the inner you with your first house, your outer you that you present, and help you get past this pain and deal with this person here, this ruthless person that's in your sphere. Oh, the Fool. Okay. You're going to start out on a new path. A new path of what? Okay, King of Cups. Wow, 3 kings here. Gemini, this is very much about your leadership skills. Very much about it. I think there was a person on your team. Now, I'm not really picking up work, except that intellectually, no, marriage partnerships. Saturn is going retrograde in your house of reputation and status and career, but that's not until the middle of the month. But I wonder if this is setting you up for that. Let me get another card here and see if it'll tell us more about whether this is someone at work or just someone, maybe a friend, someone you thought was a friend of a friend, someone in your circle, somewhere in your circle. And we have the 2 of Coins. And this is the only earth energy we have in the entire reading. And this is about a choice that has to be made. Do you see how the cord that's the 2 coins are embedded in creates an infinity sign? It's about a divine choice. So this is a message from Spirit. King of Cups, master of his emotions, complete master of emotions, rules with kindness. Yes, your kindness was mistaken for weakness. And this person here did something to undermine you somehow. But since this, okay, it's related to your marriage or a partnership, not work necessarily. This could be a personal situation. And someone mistook your kindness for weakness, turned it into a ruthless battle, and it created a painful situation for you. And now you've got a choice to make. And that's what Spirit is going to heighten your intuition so that you can use all of your executive skills that you have earned over a lifetime of experience and reflection. They want you to use that to get things back on track, because they're also going to be telling you about some new venture. The Fool is the very first card in the Major Arcana, and this is your only Major Arcana card. This is energy that's going to influence you for a while. The Fool starts out on a journey, and he encounters 21 more archetypes that are represented in the other 21 cards of the Major Arcana. And he learns a lesson. He learns from each of them. And once he's completed that cycle, then he's ready for a new set of lessons on a new aspect of life. Okay, do you see all these kings? You mastered whatever it's been on, whatever fool's journeys, paths you've been on in the past. You have mastered those. You're going to call on those skills, that experience, to complete this cycle, because this 10 is like a completion as well. It's not a completion to the extent of a Major Arcana completion like the World or Judgment Day, but it's a completion of a mini cycle. So you know the drill. You know the drill. You've been through this before. And you have a lot of skills. You have a really polished skill set. But somebody doesn't realize that, because you present yourself as a friendly, open-hearted Gemini who loves to socialize, and they mistook that for shallowness. They misjudged you, and that was painful. But happiness awaits, because you're going to, when in your quiet moments, Gemini, when you go on a walk, when you get away from people, when you have a few minutes to yourself in the car listening to music that helps you reflect, moments when you're not focusing on something intentionally, you're going to listen, and using that heightened intuition that you have, you're going to pick up messages about what this is all about and why this doesn't really matter. Because you're going to be showing yourself, you're going to be showing your true self, aligning it with your outward self that you presented to this person, and everything is going to fall into place. And you're going to be able to make the choice, choose the path, and bring, twos also represent bringing opposing forces together, or bringing together so that the sum is better than the sum of the parts is better. The whole is better than the each of the parts. Why can't I think of the phrase right now? I think it's because it's late and I'm tired. But the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So when you bring your inner self, these kings, your true self in alignment with this first house, outer self, that's when you are going to be ready then to start this journey. And that's what your hunches, your gut, all of that is telling you how to make that choice and what this is going to be about, and to help you let go of this. This is just a drop in the bucket compared to all of your experiences and all of the people that you have helped in life. This is nothing. You're moving right past it for your new journey. Okay, that was interesting. I didn't realize what it was about really until that third king showed up. And when I saw that third king and that he was about cups and mastering emotion, I thought, okay, inner self, outer self merge with right here, and it brings the fulfillment, the emotional fulfillment. That's great. Okay, well, this was a good reading, Gemini. I enjoyed it. I hope you found some enlightenment, some insight to help you through this full moon. And I'm going to be posting love and relationships reading next week. If you liked this one, please consider giving me a thumbs up, or maybe subscribing to the channel. I would appreciate it very much, and I really do look forward to reading for you again. Thank you so much for clicking on this reading.